G'day, today we're going to talk about a thing called customer personas and why they're critical for your business, no matter how big you are, and how to create one. Now, you've probably heard about a thing called customer segmentation. You know, it means listing down all the general details about your average customer in your average target market. Things like, where they are, what their age is, their gender, their socioeconomic status, and other important details like that. Now, we know from years of experience that understanding who your customers are and where to find your customers is actually really essential to running a good business, particularly one that relies on the digital world to find customers. If you're running a corner dairy or a fruit and veggie shop, it's a lot easier. All you really have to do is position yourself so that people can find you as they go into town. So that's about it for the bit about finding customers. Now, obviously there's a lot more involved once you've found them in terms of their experience, whether you can entice them back and so on. Okay, but digital marketing needs something more than that, because you can send messages out into the digital world all day at huge cost and never find a single client who's looking for what you've got to offer. Believe me, I know whereof I speak because I've spent thousands on it and it didn't work. So this is where creating customer personas comes in. These customer personas are really effective for bringing your customer segmentation details to life, which means that your marketing efforts will be laser focused and extremely cost effective. So what exactly are customer personas and why are they so important? Well, I'm glad you asked. So let's start first with the difference between the customer segments and the personas, because you need to understand their differences and then you need to see how they work together. Segmentation enables you to understand different sets or groups of customers. Okay, the information that you collect might tell you where a particular group lives, their age range, and maybe even some of their typical buying behavior. A customer persona, on the other hand, allows you to better understand these distinct groups because they are different, and to identify key characteristics within each of the groups. So you need to remember that marketing is not about how many people you reach, it's about how many of the right people that you reach. So how do you create a customer persona that's reasonably representative of the group that you are targeting? Well, the answer is quite simple. By doing research into real customers in that group, finding out what motivates them, finding out what their pain points are, how they like to be communicated to, what pisses them off, what delights them, what makes them buy or what makes them move on. And the more detailed that you can make this picture, the more likely you are to find the clients that you want and provide them with what they want when they want it. And as the old army saying goes, time spent in reconnaissance is never wasted. So now you can take all of that information that you've learned about your ideal or your typical customer, because you've been out and asked them, and you can use it to deliver a much more relevant and much more complete experience to them in terms of what you're selling them and in terms of what you're going to provide them in terms of after-sales service. Okay, so this is basically how you do it. Now, you can see on the screen that we try and get into a lot of detail about the ideal customer. And the best way to do this is to find some people who actually are in your target audience, who you know will want to help you by spending a few minutes filling out this little questionnaire that you can see on the screen there. And you can see the kind of questions that are being asked, and they're actually very, very revealing. Now, we found 20 people who were thinking of starting their own business, and we were amazed at how tightly grouped their responses were. Very little variation. Some were people we knew, but others were friends of friends who we didn't know. So keyword research is another really effective tool for discovering exactly what customers are searching for in relation to your products or services. For example, if you find that a popular search term is your service, whatever it happens to be, alongside a word like discount or offer, so it might be that your service is, let's say, graphic design, and the keyword term or the popular search term is discounted keyword graphic design or graphic design offers. It could be that your customers value price over other factors like great quality or fast turnaround. So now you know a little bit more about what motivates your ideal customer. Now, this process is going to give you really, really valuable insight into the buying behaviors of your customers. So it is really worth investing time in doing it properly. And look, I'm not doing it justice in a 9 or 10 minute video, but I'm hoping that you're getting the point. If the leading brands in the world spend a fortune on developing and testing the personas of what they think are their ideal clients, why wouldn't you spend some time on it as well? Another way of getting the information into customer personas is social media. It's a really, really important tool these days. There's thing called Facebook Insights, which will actually allow you to see how potential customers are responding to your ads, as well as what kind of content that you're putting up is generating the most engagement. And now when you're comparing this information to the other data that you've already gathered using the customer persona forms, such as gender, so relationship status, likes and dislikes, how they want to be contacted, what's important to them, then you're going to become even more precise about communicating with your customers about these two important things. What they need to solve their pain points and to take advantage of the opportunities. And number two, how you can be the one who provides what they need in a language that catches their attention and resonates with them, because you now know a lot about how they speak. You now know whether they like emojis, whether they use slang, whatever it happens to be. You are really starting to understand these people so well. So finally, alongside these research-driven tools, you can keep adding to the richness of your customer personas by carrying out surveys on social media, getting feedback from people who bought from you and those who didn't buy from you, and doing one-on-one interviews. The more that you can put into this, the better. Now, one final little trick that is devastatingly effective. It's called empathy mapping. This is a great way to visualize what your potential client is hearing, seeing, thinking, and feeling. In other words, it can identify the less obvious kinds of insights, because now you're inside their heads. So you can figure out things like the blocks that they may see to buying your products or services throughout their whole customer journey, and also to see the new opportunities that you can use for communicating more effectively with them. They're really, really easy. So just answer the following questions, and you can see we've got another form up there on the screen, and it's: what does my ideal customer think and feel, see, say and do, hear, and what causes them pain, and where can they see business gain, but they can't make it a reality. That's it. The more information you can collect, the better your marketing effort will be and the greater the sales that you will make. So, wrapping everything up, here's just a few key takeaways. Number one, focus on where customers spend their time. Are a greater percentage of your customers using Facebook, or are they using LinkedIn or Instagram? Do they read the Guardian newspaper, or do they watch YouTube videos? Number two, learn to speak their language. Does the customer use slang and emojis? Are they a lover of hashtags? Number three, create persona-specific content. What do they want to know about? What do they care about? Tell them in your content. Number four, create that buyer persona that we talked about earlier. It's best to limit the number of personas to 3 when you first start, and then build from this level to make your personas even more accurate, and then generate new ones as you need to, as your business expands. Here's the one final tip. Give your persona a name. We call 2 of our personas Angus and Angustina. Now they're very, very different people. Angus is a bloke, and he's a little bit short on the analysis. He just makes decisions pretty quickly because he feels it down here somewhere and he thinks, yeah, that'll be fine. Angustina, on the other hand, she checks out everything, but it works. It's funny, but I'll tell you what, they tend to take on a whole new life, just like a virtual person. Now, once you have your buyer personas defined, you can be much smarter about your monthly content calendar planning and the efforts that you're putting into nurturing leads. A new lead generated from a white paper or other premium content may not be actually ready to make a purchase from you, because you've got to nurture that person over time. You've got to build trust and credibility between you and them until they gain knowledge of your products and services and get the feel that they can trust you. But that, as they say, is a whole nother ball of wax, and we'll cover that in another video. If you like this topic, we have an upcoming online course that will teach you in detail everything that you need to know to get on your feet and get your business started using your skills from scratch. And that link is in the description. So don't forget to like this video and subscribe. It'll help support the channel. And if there's anything that you'd like for me to talk about, drop it in the comments. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to be part of the notification squad to get notified every time we upload, because I respond to questions in the first hour. I'll see you in the next video, and I'll catch you later.